Hi paper crafters, this is Colette. Very excited today to tell you about the new range of card creations dies that have been released by Kaisercraft. You'll be able to spot them in the shop because of this little band that goes across the top, black with white dots. But there's a range of lovely borders that you can put onto your cards, and you'll notice that they just cut the border not along here, so it's part of the actual card. There's a whole range of them. There are also some stunning card fronts that you can actually cut out, and there are also a range of these great flip card dies, which are lovely, and these are the ones I want to focus on today. In particular, I'm going to be using the lattice flip card dies. In terms of what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be using my go-to cards, which are always the Kaisercraft card and envelope packs. You get 10 in a pack with the envelope, and they are really good value. They come in different colours, and you can get square as well as the C6 size. I'm also going to be using the absolutely stunning 6.5 inch paper pad, and it's called Secret Garden. I'm also going to be using the Secret Garden Collectibles, and if you haven't tried the Collectibles yet, I'd really kind of encourage you to go out and treat yourself, because in the pack you get so many wonderful things to adorn your paper crafting projects with. Flowers, tags, arrows, doilies. You know, they fit whatever the story is, just beautiful. And this Secret Garden, I think, has got to be up there in my top 5. It's just delightful. So let me show you the card that I've made for you today. It's this card here, and you'll see that this here is the flip mechanism. And you can see it just gives you a little bit of a wow factor, a little bit special, and it's really very easy to use. So let me show you how. To start off with, we need to take our card. Now, one of the things I like to do with my cards is to cut them back so that they become a 4 inch by 6 inch card. It's only taking a little bit off, but the reason that I like to do that is to aid me in my measurements, because it's easy for me to find the halfway mark on this, because I know that half of 6 is 3, half of 4 is 2, so it makes it really easy. The other thing is, I very often like to mat and put lots of different mats on my cards, and I know that with a 4 by 6 I will get 6 mats out of a sheet of cardstock. If it was the traditional size, I'd only get the 4, so it helps me to do that too. So I have my 4 by 6 card, and I now need to score this, and I'm using my scoreboard here. If you don't have a scoreboard, just score them on your paper trimmer, and Kaisercraft do a lovely blade that scores. So I'm going to score this on the halfway mark. So again, half of 4 is 2. So scoring that at the 2 inch mark. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover this particular card. So I've cut my paper in preparation here, and I've got a piece of this lovely little text paper from the paper pad, and this has been cut to 6 inches by just fractionally under the 2 inch, because I need to allow room for that score line. So I'm just going to go ahead now and put this onto my page, making sure the text is the right way up, not that you would put it upside down. And I've taken this tiny floral, isn't it pretty? And I've cut that again, just under the 2 inches by 6 inches. And I'm going to pop that down here on the bottom. So you can see I have that tiny little line, which allows me to fold this when I need to do that in a minute. And then on the inside, I'm taking this lovely shiny doily piece, and I've cut that to just under 4 inches by 6 inches. And again, I'm going to whiz that down. Okay, so I'm now ready to start using my beautiful dies. So the first thing that I need to do is to create the little pop-up mechanism, that little pop-up. And to do that, I am going to need the pop-up or the flip element of the die, which is this one. And you'll notice if you look here, I think you'll be able to see it, I've got a little line drawn with a permanent marker on the halfway mark, and that will enable me to position this on the halfway line. So I'm just going to make a little pencil mark, and that pencil mark is going to be drawn on that halfway mark. So just zooming in there so you can see what I'm doing here. And of course I know that half of 6 is going to be 3, so a very light pencil mark. I'm going to take my die with the cut side down, and I'm going to line that pencil mark up with the little line that I made on my die. And the bottom of this is going to be basically in my score valley. And I'm going to take a couple of tiny little bits of washi just to keep this little guy in place. And then I'm going to run through it my die cutting machine. Now, I normally use my Big Shot, but I've left my Big Shot in the shop today, so I'm going to go ahead and do this on the Spellbinders. And as I said, these dies work fabulously in any of the die cutting machines. If you're not sure how to do the die cutting, check back previously on the Kaiser blog or look at my YouTube channel. There's some really beginner steps and more advanced steps on using the Big Shot machine. Okay, so now that has been cut, I'm going to carefully take away the washi or the printed tape, and I'll stick that back on the top of my machine for when I need it next. And then you can see our little die cut has been cut. Okay, and then we're just going to fold that back so you can see the hole it makes, and then when I fold this down, this little guy is going to pop up. Alright, cute. So that's the flip mechanism that's been done. And the next thing I now need to do is to create my stopper. And this is the little thing that stops the card collapsing. It's a little semicircle, and it just holds the card beautifully in place. Now to do that, I'm going to once again just mark up my card here, and I want to mark it up at the halfway mark, and I think at the halfway mark here. So I'm going to line this up again on my mat, and I'm going to line this up on one of my lines. This is the Kaisercraft cutting mat, which is really good, lots of great marks for us to use. So I've lined it up on this straight line there, and then all I have to do is to take my ruler, line the ruler up 2 inches above. So I'm lining it here with that mark, and I'm lining it here, and then I just need to make a pencil mark at the 3 inch, because I know 3 is half of 6 inches. Simple as that. Then I'm going to take my little stopper with the cut side down. I'm going to position that on that little mark. A little bit of washi just to make sure he behaves when he gets passed through the machine. That should do fine. Okay, pop him onto your cutting plates and roll him through your machine. Okay, so gently taking away that washi tape, and then you can see I've got my little stopper there now in place. So that little stopper is all in place, and my card is now stable. So very quickly then, just rub away your pencil marks. Okay. And then the final thing that we need to do here is to make our filler. And that's the third of the dies in our set. And that's the filler here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more of that text paper, and I'm just going to stamp in advance my sentiment. So I've got a little stamp pad here with a verse, and I'm using the Kaisercraft bark ink pad. So I'm just going to gently stamp that up. And I'm just going to now position this on my piece of paper. It says a little birthday wish. Alright, and then I'm going to pass this through the machine, but I want to do something a little bit different. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this die. My zooming's not very good today, guys. I'm so sorry about that. I'm going to take this little die and I'm going to ink it up so it has a little border. If you look at the card I've done here, you can see that round the actual filler there's a nice green inked border. The way that I did that was to simply take my green and to ink up the actual die. You get a bit of messy fingers with this, but that's okay. And then I'm going to position this onto my mat, just where I want that to go. I've slipped it a little bit, but I'm sure you'll forgive me. Again, printed tape just to hold it in position, and then we want to run that through. And the machine running that through. So gently removing the washi tape and then removing the die. And then when you look at this, you can see that you've got the little green border all the way around. So it's a nice little technique that you can use just to add another element to your card making. Okay, so that's all the bits that I'm going to use from my beautiful Card Creations Lattice Flip Die set. Now what I need to do is just to finish off my card. So I have got my card. I'm going to take this and I'm going to pop that down on top of that. And then I'm going to talk you through what I've done with the other bits on this card. To save you watching me just stick everything down, I have simply taken that bit and I've popped that up with foam tape in the center of my pop-up. I've taken some beautiful flowers from the Collectibles and I've popped those up as well. And I've taken some of the lovely sayings that are on the sticker sheet. And this is the sticker sheet here that belongs with this. And there's lots of lovely sayings down here that you can use. And the actual doily strip here, I positioned that along the top of the card section there. On the inside, I took this glorious centerpiece here and put that along the bottom, replacing my leftover bits back onto the card. And then from inside my paper pad, I took a little label that I stuck down, and that's for me to write my sentiment on. Now, a little tip here again, you'll notice that with my sticker sheet I've actually taken away all the background, and that enables me to put things back on if I've changed my mind. And one of the other little things that you can do, I have a card that I need to do a little bit later on tonight, and I need to make what I call Kindy bubbles, and this is Kindy Glitz, which is distributed by Kaisercraft as well. And I'm just going to pop down, I'm going to zoom this in a little bit for you so you can see what I'm doing here. Not related to the card, but I know you like little tips. I'm just going to pop down tiny little bubbles on this type of waxed greasy backing, and I need a few of these. 2 more. Aren't they gorgeous? And what will happen is those little bubbles, I'm going to leave those overnight. They'll dry and then I'll be able to pick them off. I usually just slide under one of the tools, and the little pickup tool here, which is from Kaisercraft, is really handy. You just scoop them up. A bit of dimensional magic or glossy accents on the back, and they are just like gorgeous little Kindy bubbles, as I call them. So that's, I guess, my tutorial today. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And wow, you know, these card creations, flip card dies, just fantastic, really easy to use. Hope you have fun in using them and enjoy using that beautiful collection from Kaisercraft. My name's Colette. If you've liked this video, check out my others by subscribing to my channel. I hope to see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye.